Welcome to Melissa Valentine's Nursery. My name is Melissa if you don't know me. And today we are here with Adelaide and her little Easter stuff. And you guys, this is special. This is something that Karla at Karla's Bunny Trail had thought of. We're doing Way Back Wednesdays. And who's participating? Karla at Karla's Bunny Trail, Sandra at Sandra's Frozen in Time Reborns, Beth at Grandma's Magical Whispers, and Beth, and Christina at Cuddles by Christina. So, you guys, I was born in 1984. So, I wasn't really feeling the 80s. You know, I was shitting in diapers still. But listen, I'm going to try my best and we're going to make it work. We're going to make it work, you guys. You guys, it's really Tuesday. And I am waiting in about an hour. I'm going to leave for my doctor's appointment. It's just a year, them year appointments, So to talk about your blood labs and whatever. So, you guys, I figured I would tell you a story. I don't really have anything to show from back then, but I could tell you a story. Look, my earrings, they keep turning. I don't know. There's that one. And then this other purple lightning bolt. Yes, Karla. They're lovely, darling. Just lovely. Can you see my earring? I don't know. Maybe I'll have to turn it. It doesn't want to work. All right. So, you guys, so here's my story, okay? I have an aunt who lived 2 houses down from me. And she was still a teenager. And maybe she's, 12 years younger than me, I think. It's more like 12 years younger than me. And she would have me spend the night on Friday nights, ever so often. And we would dance and dance to whatever music, a lot of Madonna, Janet Jackson. I can't even remember all the people we would dance to. And we would do this thing where our legs would do like this. I don't know. And we would be in front of her bedroom door mirror. And then we would go in the basement of my grandma's house because she still lived there. She was young enough. And we would exercise to Jane Fonda or Jane Fonda. I want to make sure I don't get the purple on her. Jane Fonda or who's the other one? Cindy Crawford. And we would do the step exercises, And we would dance all over the basement. And then we would come up and she would get those cheap boxes of Jiffy my grandma would buy. And it was blueberry muffin mix, and we'd make blueberry muffins. And this was maybe 1990. And then she'd make herself a salad with bacon bits and her salad dressing or whatever. And then we would go back up to her room, listen to music. She had a trundle under her bed where she pulled out and I slept. And she had one of those phones that I don't know what they're called because, but she had it set to pulse. So she would call her boyfriend at night. It would be and she'd be laying there and talking to her boyfriend. And I would be just listening and looking around her room. And then we would shut the lights out and go to sleep. And she would play with me. She'd be ooh, in the dark. And I'd be ain't any stop, But yes, so that is, you guys, I know it's listen, I have to work with the memories I've got. So I feel she was very impressionable on me, especially that time. I'm going to put her down because I don't want the purple to rub off on her at all. I'm really scared, to be honest. Listen, you guys, I got to check my babies out. I got to make sure they're all copacetic. You know what I'm saying? So around that time, I was first grade, second grade, something like that. And we even like, we had a good relationship with my aunt and my grandma who lived 2 houses down. And so I remember like she would have me over, and she worked at Friendly's. And I remember when she worked there, if you guys know Friendly's, it's like, I don't know, they sell like burgers, like shitty burgers and stuff like that. But they're known for like ice cream sundaes and stuff. Look, you guys can see look at the phone wire thing. They're in for a minute. I don't know if they're still in or not. But you guys, I had to put the hair up sideways. And what else? Let me squeeze it a little bit so it doesn't fall out of my friggin' head while I'm talking. And so my grandma always had like gatherings. It'd be either like she had big family gatherings in the backyard when it was nice out, and there would be like loud music, all sorts of loud music. You know, she would have like, I don't know, just an array, Diana Ross and like Harry Belafonte and who else? It would just be an array of different types of music that would be playing in the yard. And we would cook out, and the kids would run around the big tree that had like a garden around it. And my grandma and my grandpa had hung a tree swing, and the kids would play on that, and they would have like a pool. And so we actually hung out at that house a lot. That was like our own house, because we lived in a basement apartment in New York. And 2 houses down, my grandma lived in that house. She had a mortgage or owned it or whatever. That was like her house. It wasn't, she didn't rent it. So I spent a lot of time in their backyard playing. And this is like, no shit, this is like 1989, 1990, 1991. That's what I was doing. And that was on Long Island. And we just had a blast. You know, I just remember that really clearly. And that's where I get a lot of my like old time knowledge from back then. And those are really vivid memories. What else do I have? Like, and then like my friends in New York, we would play up and down the road, and there was a candy store. There was a candy store at the corner, because the road I lived on was in a neighborhood, but at the corner was like a laundromat. It was like a corner mart, like sold newspapers and candies, and we called them the candy store. And then there was a bar. And we used to, if we had like a little bit of change, we used to go to the candy store as kids and pick up these like 5-10 cent candies and put it in a paper bag and be like jawbreakers and thing like, you know, and bring it back. And all the neighborhood kids, we'd all be playing at between my grandma's house and where we lived, my friend Alyssa lived there, and we would have the candy, and all the kids would hang out at Alyssa's house, and we would play in her yard and run around. And I remember like going in her house, and she had the coolest like Barbie clothes. And I think I even 5-finger discounted a few of them. And like, you know, so I had fun. And then there was kids across the road, and they didn't always come over. But I remember as a child just running up and down the block, playing with the kids, going to Alexa's house. Everybody was at Alexa's house. And then my grandma's backyard and the candy store. So that was like memories that I, as a child, can remember and can hang on to. And many times music was always playing. It was always playing from it was grandma's house and everything. And then my aunt, the one that lived in my grandma's house, she would come to my mom's house, and my mom would braid her hair, and my mom would make her grilled cheese or French toast, and we would just like have fun. And that aunt that I'm talking about, she would literally connect with us in a way that nobody else did. But the one thing she used to do, and I'm not going to do it because my babies are expensive, but you know how like vinyl babies that you buy like at the store, their head is hollow? She'd be like, if we got on her friggin' nerves, she'd squeeze it and she'd be like, "You're getting on my friggin' nerves." And she would squeeze the baby's head. And we remember that. But I don't think it really like really affected us. I hope I don't have lettuce in my teeth. I came home and I ate myself a salad when I got home and a yogurt. But anyway, I remember her squeezing the baby's heads. But she would also buy us like cool toys. So it was like a win-win. Like, you know, even though she did that, we still had fun and it was all in fun. But like, I love my babies. Like, I would never squeeze my baby's heads. You know what I'm saying? But my aunt would do that. And, you know, so I can remember that and living there and just, it's like everybody was younger back then. And I was young. I was little. You guys, I was like, I don't know, 8, 9, 8? How old are you about those? 7, 8? And those memories stuck because they were like quality family memories. You know, in any family, there's like dysfunctional shit. But I can remember, you know, being at home and then going to my grandma's house to play in her backyard and running up and down the road. Our bicycles. I had a blue banana seat bicycle that I loved. And I think like my parents must garbage picked it or some shit. It was used, you know, and I loved it. And my mom at the time, she stayed at home. I think for a short time, she worked at a nursing home, like washing hair or some shit. But like, she was mostly stay at home. And my dad worked and he'd get home at like 5 p.m. We didn't really go outside and play Monday through Friday, but like the weekends, oh man, we were always outside. Always outside. And so that's what was going on with me in like 89, 90, 91. And that's the earliest memories that I can give you guys. Being born in 84, I mean, you know, I went to kindergarten in 1989. And my teacher's name was Miss Albergo. And she was old. She's probably now, you know. But Miss Albergo, and I remember when you went in the classroom, the chalkboard was to the left. And the desks were, it was like these shared, you know, kid desks. And then the back right was all the coat hangers and it led to the bathroom. And then beyond the desk for the kids was like the play area. And there was like the baby, like simulated like home area. And there was the block area with the blocks. And it was like the wooden blocks. And then it was like the reading nook area. And I could remember that. And I remember I sat at the first table when you came in. The water fountains was right there before the coat racks. And I remember I sat at the first table. And it was a regular table. It was like kids, you know, like a school. It was, I don't know if it was round or square. I can't remember that. But I can remember every table had a color and shape in the middle of it. And my table for kindergarten was the red triangle table. And I sat with this girl. And I can't remember what her name was. But she spoke Spanish. And I used to think she was making that shit up. Like, she would be like, ah. And I was like, you know, I didn't know Spanish. Like, I was raised in an Italian family. And, you know, and we spoke English. And my grandma Anna, she spoke Italian. But, like, I thought she was making that stuff up. It just didn't sound right to me. Like, now that I see, yeah, she was Spanish. Like, she was Hispanic. Like, she was speaking Spanish. And we used to get apples and milk. I never liked milk. And I could remember I just remember that class. Because when I went to first grade, my first grade class was literally across the hall to the right. And I hated first grade. That was like, I hated first grade because I felt like playtime was over. And I had Miss Demetrio. And at the time, she was young and had hair like Cher, the curly hair. And I sat towards the back of the classroom, like the middle, because my last name begins with L. So I sat in the back middle. And I would cry that I didn't want to go to school. I cried and I cried. And my mom would throw me on the school bus, not giving a shit. And and I remember sitting in the front behind the school bus driver. And I was crying, I don't want to go to school. I want to stay home with my mommy. Like, I did not want to go to school. And I remember one time it was so bad that I would try, my aunt dropped me off. Oh, my headband literally popped off. My another aunt dropped me off. She brought me Cheetos because I used to love Cheetos. She dropped me off for first grade one day and said she'll take me to school that day. And I still cried and I cried. And I remember against the wall when you walked in, there was all like the science center and stuff with the sugar and the salt and everything. I dumped it upside down because I wanted to go home. I was not going to stay here. And I tried to run out of the classroom. And the friggin' teacher locked the classroom. I couldn't get out. Back then, they were a little more hardcore, I think. They locked me in the fucking classroom. And I remember I had to also sit with the, like first grade, oh my God. First grade, I hated it. And let's see, so if that had to be 91, 90, because I started kindergarten maybe 89. So like 91, Melissa hated first grade. I hated it. But then second grade, which was a whole nother school, I didn't mind it. I didn't mind second grade. But I hated third grade. I was back to crying and screaming. So those are some of my early memories. And that's the earliest I can give you closest to the 80s. Because you guys, before then, I was at home with mom while she was folding laundry. And she potty trained me. And I did go to a preschool. I went to a preschool. And I think my other aunt had worked there. And my teacher was Miss Dixie. That was like 87, 88. I also was in ballet. I was in ballet. I forgot about that. I was in ballet. So 88, I was doing that. 89, I was in kindergarten with Miss Demetrio at the red triangle table. And then about 91, I was first grade. And I remember, you guys, I remember in first grade, Mr. Tom was the school janitor. And the kids loved him. The kids loved him. And I remember being in the lunchroom and I wanted an ice cream. I wanted an ice cream. And the ice creams were like, I don't know, $1 or something. And I told him I left my $1 in my lunch bag. So Miss Demetrio had Mr. Tom walk me to the end of the hall because the first graders was way at the other end of the school. Walked me all the way to my backpack. There was no $1 in there. I just wanted an ice cream. So I got to my book bag and I was looking and looking and I was like, Mr. Tom, I can't find it. And Mr. Tom gave me money for ice cream and he bought me a Mickey Mouse head ice cream, you know, with the ears. And I got an ice cream. I hope Mr. Tom isn't watching. If he is, I hope he forgives me. It was so long ago. He's like, listen. So you guys, that's the earliest memories I have. And, you know, we're doing Way Back Wednesdays. And so that's one portion of my Wednesdays. That's my school. That's the earliest we're going to have here. And I hope you enjoyed it because that's all I got for you for that. Next time, maybe I'll talk about family parties, which I've touched on in past videos. Yeah, so I don't know. I had last night I was at work and I'm training somebody. I'm doing nurse cart work, I'm still doing supervisor work, but I'm training a new nurse. I'll be training all week for a weekend nurse and a weekday nurse. And it's been great. But on another unit, there was a lot of stress today and I didn't want to scare the nurse that I was training. So I was like, hey, listen, I'm going to leave you. If you need anything, call me. I'm going into another unit. And I went and shit hit the fan at that unit. But I did not tell that other nurse. The new one. I was like, I'm not scaring her. I'm not going to scare her away because we have to keep staff. Like, we have to keep staff. You guys, listen. I got to take this off because I'm going to my doctor's appointment looking like I come straight from the friggin' 80s. Oh, I was supposed to take the clear thing off of the back. Oh, well. Oh, well. Another day. On another Way Back Wednesday, we'll do that. But I think I'm going to record mine on Tuesdays, you guys, because I think I'm going to record it on Tuesdays because it's just easier. And then by the time I get it up, I'll get it up on Tuesday night. So I think that'll work better. Because if I did this on Wednesdays, by the time you guys see it, Wednesday's over. It's history. And then we'll be doing way back Wednesdays in 40 years from now. I don't know. I'm a freaking hot mess. I'm taking off my stuff. Because I don't want to, forget the earrings. Look, my hair's sideways. I did just for the video, you guys. So much I love you guys. I do ship just for the video. No, but like really, I've been doing lately, I have been doing, more vlog style videos for the weekend videos. And I don't know, like, do you guys like that? Because you gave me good feedback with the chickens. I know you guys love the friggin' chickens, but sometimes Joey participates in chicken stuff, and then I do. So it just depends on I think it depends on who's doing what between me and Joe when it comes to chores on the weekends. So I don't know. I'm trying to figure out if you guys like those weekend vlogs, like the Sunday. What does Melissa do on Sunday when she's not sleeping? Because Sunday is my most wide awake day. And that's where I clean and, I try to make me and Joseph, try to make me and Joe like really good, like wholesome breakfast or dinners or whatever. Cause like, honestly, Joey, he keeps me healthy to an extent. I'm a big girl, but it's all, it's all things I like. I'm a picky eater, but it's things I like, but like, I've always been into like relatively eating healthy mostly. I try to balance. It's balance, right? So, but let me get this out of my face. I don't even know where the fuck I was going with this, you guys. I really don't know. Like, I'm getting tired, and I don't know if it's because I took my 200 milligrams of gabapentin or what. Like, I don't know if it's like gabapentin head, but I know I got to go to the doctor, and I can't stand going to the doctor. You guys, food is medicine. I may eat like shit sometimes, but I came home, I ate a salad with ranch dressing, but still. So yeah, tell me what you think about the weekend vlogs. If you have any feedback about, you're probably going to be like, some of you will be like, I was born in 1991. And then other ones will be like, I got married in 1991 and I was 35 years old. What else? My hair's matted. It got all matted because I had it up in a regular ponytail. And then, I was like, well, let me flip it this way for the video, But I like doing the way back Wednesdays, but I'm going to really have to think hard on some of my stuff. That I'm going to think of, so maybe I'll do like holidays or something. This is a hard one for me, you guys. Maybe I'll do like memories of friends and stuff. I don't know. I'm trying to think what I can do. But this was actually fun, though. This was actually pretty fun. I feel like I'm getting tired. Look at my... Oh, Swirl Gang. You guys, go to Swirl Gang. She did a live last night. Oh, my God. I woke up, and I had like 20 text messages. And what I'll do is I'll brush my teeth, I'll piss, whatever. And then I will start getting dressed. And I'll usually have like my bra and undies on and my socks. And I'll sit up on my bed and I'll be like, Sandra was like, Melissa, because I was actually watching Karla as I got ready. And Sandra was like, Swirl Gang is live. And I'm like, what? So I went on Swirl Gang and I was like, oh my God, she's live now and I got to go to work. So I was like, hey, how you doing? And then I was like, deuces, I got to go, I felt so bad. But off and on, during doing like documentation breaks, whatever, I watched her, and you guys, she is something. I enjoyed watching her. So you guys check her out. Her video is up. It was a live, so, but her video is available for you to watch. What else is going on? Everybody, I watched Cuddles by Christina last night. And I had to finish watching Karla. And Sandra better get on it. Sandra made videos and she deleted them. So Sandra's got to get on it. But her kids are back in school. So, you know, I'm getting tired. I don't know. I don't have a watch on, but I'm getting tired. And I've been recording for 25 minutes. So I probably leave in like about an hour. And I hope if I show up 30 minutes ahead of time, I wonder if they'll take me early. I don't know. I hope. What else do I want to, is there anything else that I want to mention? I don't know. I was looking at Gretel sitting there looking at me in her Valentine's outfit. You guys, I don't feel like dressing her right now. She's a big girl. She's going to have to learn to dress herself. Like, get over here. I love this doll, you guys. I love her. She's an amazing, wonderful masterpiece. Help me out here. She's a wonderful doll, but she's a pain in the ass to dress. She really is. She's heavy. She was standing on the bed one day and she fell on me. And she fell on me. And that hurt, you guys. That hurt. But, yeah. I won't see Joseph today. He's got school. And so tomorrow, I told him, I said, tonight, it's every man for himself when it comes to dinner. And then tomorrow, we're going to have spaghetti. We got spaghetti. Now, I like spaghetti with meat sauce or meatballs. It doesn't matter. But it's easier just to make meat sauce sometimes, right? But Joey, he doesn't like meat sauce. So I gotta make him meatballs. All right. You guys, how about that video yesterday I did with William? William looks so handsome. I mean, you know, he's my little 1950s. You go back, watch it if you haven't watched it. So, you guys, I think I'm gonna leave you here. I think maybe it would help if I wore my glasses because my eyes are feeling a certain way. All right, you guys. I am going to let you go. And I hope you enjoyed this Way Back Wednesday story time with Melissa. All right, you guys. Love you guys so much. Like, subscribe, comment, share, ring the bell. And until next time, bye, you guys.